So hello and yes, welcome back to another video, guys. Film ranking. Yes, we're going to be doing a film ranking today. I really enjoyed doing my Pirates of the Caribbean one. So today I've picked up another film series. There's a few more films here. There's 9, I believe. 3... Yep, there's 9 films here, so it's a bit more bigger. And of course you've read the title, it's Planet of the Apes. So we got the 5 original Planet of the Apes films, we got the Mark Wahlberg one, and then we got the 3 new ones, Andy Serkis. So we're going to be ranking them from least to best. Now, bearing in mind, guys, this is after all my opinion. If you don't agree with it, that's completely fine. But just let me know in the comments what you guys thought of this video and what your lists would look like. I'm also going to apologise because Birdie, Buzz, has got a blanket on his cage to try and shut him up while I do these videos. And it always works, except for today. I just filming a video before this and he started to come alive. So hopefully he doesn't come alive again. But anyway, my least favourite film related to the Planet of the Apes is Escape from Planet of the Apes. This is the 3rd one, where the 2 main apes, I can't remember their names, I haven't seen these in a while, go back in time, even though Earth, spoilers, is pretty much destroyed in the 2nd one. How to escape, we don't know. This is the first problem with the film. There is no explanation as to how this movie is even possible. So, okay, fair enough. And whereas the first 2 films don't look as dated, obviously they look dated, but they don't look as dated as this one, is because, you know, you get that the apes have created their own world and they're living in it. Here, seeing the apes run about in the 70s, they look absolutely ridiculous. This film looks awful. The acting in it is so much worse than the previous ones. And it's a very cringy film to watch nowadays. Again, I'm sure if you grew up with this film, it is different. But watching it today, it's a cringe-worthy one, I think is a good way to describe it. So, has not aged well, that one. The next one up is the Mark Wahlberg one from 2001, I believe. I'm not sure. I think it was 2001, maybe the late 90s. Yeah, it's a bad film. Why is it a bad film? Well, they had no idea what they were doing for a start. The monkeys looked absolutely horrific. The actual character development in it was actually funny. I mean, I couldn't believe it. It's like they wanted us to take it seriously. It's a real shame that Tim Burton had his name on this, because Tim Burton's really normally good. The love interest in it was absolutely made me feel sick. There's so many things in this film which just do not go well. It is just a bad film. It's a bad film. But there are funny bits in it, which is why I'd rather watch that over Escape. The next one up is Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. It's a good film, but when the film's over, you really don't feel like it should be over. It's like you're set in this one dynamic for the whole film. The pacing of the film is terrible. The structure of the film is terrible. But it is saved by some exciting scenes when there are some action sequences in it. You know, looking back at it for the time, you've got to be open-minded because it's an old film now. They're good. The acting in it is improved over Escape. And generally you feel more invested in the characters because you actually feel for them, because it's, you know, all the monkeys are being enslaved and you generally feel for them. You want them to get out. You want them to escape. So Conquest is an okay film. It's not bad. There are characters in it that are relatable, which is nice. But at the end of the day, it's just not structured well. Then we've got Battle for the Planet of the Apes, which is, again, an okay film. I put this one above Conquest because I like the structure of it more. It feels more like a complete film. It feels more like they knew where they wanted to go with it. And it's quite an interesting film because this one feels most like the original 2 out of the later 3 films. again, there are some shocking moments in it where you generally are surprised with what's happened. You're watching the film and you go, oh, okay, I didn't expect that. There are a few depths in this film which take you by surprise. And again, you do relate to some characters in this film. It's quite good. It's a very interesting film, I will say. But at the end of the day, it's still a little bit forgettable. Now, this is when we get to the good Planet of the Apes films. These next ones I all really like. So the first one up is Beneath Planet of the Apes, which is the second one of the originals, of the original two, which is good. It picks up right where the first one left off really well. It's a bit confusing, of course. They kind of swap out their main character, which is a bit annoying, but it works fine. It makes the story a bit more interesting, I can't lie. It goes in a very weird direction, but I like that. I like that. It had a very unique feel to it. And again, for the time, in terms of the scenery and whatnot, it was really quite good. Obviously, the visual effects were garbage, but for back then, I'm sure they were fine. There is a bit where there's like meant to be lightning surrounding one of the characters. That's quite amusing to watch today. But yeah, it is a good film though. It has, the only reason I would say it is you can tell it's dated. The only thing that makes it look really dated is the visual effects. Other than that, you know it's an old film, but it doesn't look nowhere near as dated as Escape, which follows it, surprisingly. So it's a decent film. The next one up is one of the Andy Serkis ones. This is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. This is the middle one. This is the second one. The reason I put this one last out of the Andy Serkis ones is because I feel like the structure to this film isn't great, nor is the pacing. The tension isn't built up as well as it is in either of the other two films. But at the end of the day, it's still good. It's not a great story. It's just good. But the acting from Gary Oldman and Andy Serkis in this film is absolutely incredible. The visual effects, you know, the Andy Serkis visual effects ones, you know, they're absolutely incredible. So yeah, they did do a good job with this film. Very good film. Okay, top three. Here we go. So my third favourite Planet of the Apes film is the original Planet of the Apes, the very first one. This film holds up really well for a film that was made in, what, 67? Incredible how well this film holds up, in fact. It's really good. I remember watching it. First time I watched it, I was very worried. How much am I going to be invested in this? Because it's obviously going to look very dated. I remember really getting into this film. There are a couple stupid bits in it still, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not sure how that guy lost his voice. That made no sense. So there are definitely a few flaws in it. But it was so well acted for the time. The costumes looked really cool at the time. The scenery was fantastic. This is the best one in terms of that. The story was great. The structure was great. The pacing was great. It all kept going. It all kept unfolding well. And at the end, it was a great conclusion. And had an incredible cliffhanger. So, this was a really good film. Not perfect, but it's really good. This film will stand the test of time, I think. Because I think when you hit about the mid-70s and you had films like Star Wars and Jaws come out, them films are going to hold up for... Because them films are going to hold up better because at that point, films were starting to look good. Films before that, like Planet of the Apes, will struggle more because they don't look great. But I do believe the very first, the original one, will stand the test of time. It was a very good film. Okay, so my second favourite Planet of the Apes film is War for the Planet of the Apes, the last one. This was, I would almost say, masterpiece. It was structured perfectly. The pacing was fantastic. The cinematography in this one was unbelievably fantastic. The visuals, obviously the best one because the visuals just keep getting better and better, but this one was incredible. Woody Harrelson done a fantastic job as the villain. You really feel tension in this film. And it reminds me of the fourth Planet of the Apes film. Can't remember the title unless I've got the Blu-ray here in front of me, unfortunately. I think it's Conquest. I think it's Conquest. It reminds me of that in a way because a lot of the apes are imprisoned again by the humans, and you really, really feel for them. And it's great. It does a great job of being a prequel to the original, explaining what happened to the humans and showing the apes go on this incredible journey to their new homeland. And at the end, when they're walking towards their homeland and they play the original theme from the original film, it's a heart-touching moment. It's fantastic. They done a great job with this film. They really did. But my favourite is Rise. Why is it Rise? Because I do know deep down that War is a better film. I find this one a better paced film, and I find it more enjoyable overall. James Franco does a really good job in this film, and it shows how good James Franco can be when he's really trying. And yeah, just everything about this film rocks, I think. It is a damn near perfection film again. You really feel the tension. You can tell, like, when Caesar is getting angry, you can really feel it, and you actually get nervous for him. And then when you look at the humans, like they had Malfoy in it, you can really see why they get scared of him. It's like, yeah, this guy, he's something else. And the action sequences at the end when they escape and they're running across the bridge, it is incredible. It is an incredible film to watch. The cliffhanger, of course, showing the disease hitting the humans was done so well at the end and so subtly. I love this film. Fantastic film. So anyway, there is my ranking of the 9 Planet of the Apes films that we got so far. I don't think we'll be getting any more for a while now. Let's face it, we don't need any more at this point in time. I really think they've done as much as they can do. We'll probably have to wait another 10 years and then they'll reboot it again. But really, I don't think it can get much better than what Andy Serkis and his team just did with them. But anyway, that is it for this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed. Please hit the subscribe button, like the video, leave a message, and I will see you guys next time for another video.